homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at ShuilaFlooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at ShuilaFlooring@gmail.com.
This is KCHW 102.7.
In the mic right. I'm in the mic right. I'm in the mic right.
You're
I'm
in the mic,
right. Wait a second, I was skipping.
Oh, God.
Remember how CDs used to do that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Too funny.
Oh, wait. I accidentally went too far. There we go.
Oh, no.
That was your show for the day, folks. Goodbye. Just kidding. All right, good morning,
That was
everybody.
quick.
Right? Good
Woo,
morning, everybody.
I can't even remember anything. Too funny.
This is your KCHW morning show. It is Friday, March.
Yeah.
March. Thank you very much. March 7th. And we are here with myself, the lovely Paula Randall, and Craig McQuain. And later today, we have a very special guest. I haven't confirmed this with him yet, but I do believe it's actually his first time as a guest on the show. We have our very own Scott Allen Schlafman joining us on the second half of the show today. We're going to, in honor of our birthday, we're going to talk a little about some stories, starting the station, just kind of reminisce about the good old days of KCHW. It's
Good old days of KCHW.
That's right.
I bet he's got some great stories.
I'll bet he does. It's going to be a good one. You know, a lot of times we go through, we do the morning show, and you know we follow along and do the routine. And
Yeah.
I want to dive deep into some
Dive
of the
deep
stories.
into the catacombs of the emperor's mind, right?
Exactly. We're gonna
That leads from afar.
we're gonna spill some tea. we're gonna get the lowdown. No, we're gonna tell good fun stories.
Yep.
And talk about some of the challenges and some of the history of the station. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one.
He's going to
Yeah.
be like a hologram in the studio.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
next year.
That's next year. Yeah.
You know, it'll either be a fun one that with great stories that everybody loves, or we'll get really nerdy and get into all the technical stuff, and
Right.
people will be like, "Yeah, you guys, nobody cares about, you know, feedback." And
I want to hear
and
about
reverse
duct
wattage
tape
and-
and chewing gum. Like
Yes.
how it
There
was
you go.
built off
Yes.
of duct tape and chewing gum.
Chewing gum, right?
exactly. There's
Everything is built off duct tape and chewing gum.
I think there's been some of that over the years.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Definitely, and I can't say that same hasn't happened. Although the current times, duct tape and chewing gum has been replaced by Timu.
Yes. They kept it to Timu.
Timu, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, now we
Source
got
of-
that dollar store duct tape, you know.
Yeah,
it's,
there you
it's
go.
like it's really shiny and
You know, I got some dollar store double-sided sticky tape to hang posters up.
They didn't hold.
No, it doesn't hang. It doesn't
Yeah.
hold posters up.
they don't hang.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's true. I had to
It's
send
bad.
Daniel to, one of those big stores to get the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had quite a few times when I've used that.
The Gorilla
Yeah.
Tape, and it'll practically like rip your skin off if it sticks to you.
Oh, Gorilla Tape's
yeah.
Gorilla
Yeah.
Tape's the best.
It's the
Yeah.
best, yeah.
Not to hang posters on windows, though.
No, please don't put a poster on my window with Gorilla Tape. Yeah.
I'd take the whole window down.
You could probably, like, if you had a frame of a boat, you could probably use that tape to seal it up.
I've seen videos where they've actually made boats out of duct tape and Gorilla Tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
Yeah.
say we used it to seal up our RV in many an emergency.
Didn't
Leak?
right? All right, everybody. So let's go ahead and get on with the show here. Let's see. We have our weather forecast. You made me say weather 3 times. That was weird.
All right.
Exactly.
It's because Craig was skipping. Now it's confected us.
Right? It's confected us. All right. So today on our 49, our weather.
Hoo-ha.
Wake up! Now I'm going backwards like a record. All right, we have our weather and mountain condition report brought to you by 49 Degrees North Mountain Resort. Today we have a high of 52 degrees with a mix of clouds and sun. It was really sunny coming in this morning. Nice weather out there.
Yeah.
32 degrees overnight with partly cloudy skies. Then on Saturday, 53 for our high, 36 overnight for our low. 56 and 34 on Sunday with cloudy skies once again. But only a 4 and 5% chance of rain on those cloudy days. So probably going to stay dry, just a little cloudy.
I think so.
Mostly sunny again on Monday with a high of 51 degrees, 33 overnight, 48 and 35 on Tuesday of next week. Clouds coming back again. Then on Wednesday, we do have a chance of some rain and snow mixed, but it's going to be 45 for a high and 33 overnight. So might get some more up in the mountains.
Yeah, but we'll probably just have rain.
Yeah, probably just have a little bit of rain down here. And then Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, 48 degrees for the high, 28 overnight. Then 46 and 30 next Friday. But we have, on those days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty good chance of rain every one of those days.
Yeah, 23%, 22%, 24%. So I think we might get some smattering of rain. That would be good.
Yeah. And then looking ahead on Sunday the 16th, might get a little more snow mixed with rain Sunday and Monday, both the 16th and 17th. But then
on Monday, we actually might see a little bit of that snow down here.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. It's not going to stay for very long.
No.
But
No, these temperatures, it's looking like, we always joke around about that false spring that we get generally every year. Unless it comes really late this year, I'm not sure if we're going to see that.
Yeah, it looks like spring is here.
Yeah. It seems like a pretty gradual spring, but a little early.
Well, we have meteorological spring has already happened. It happened last week.
That's
and
true.
then we have what is the celestial spring, which is on the equinox. And that's happening on March 20th.
Yeah.
So however you look at it, spring is here. Little bunnies, birds frolicking. It happens.
Cats and dogs living together.
Cats and dogs living together.
Well, the chaos comes from the planetary alignment.
Yes.
That every planet except the planet Earth are all in alignment with each other. I think that says something.
Right. Well, they're not like perfectly aligned. They're a little, but they're pretty aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that? And then, of course, we have a full solar eclipse, lunar eclipse that's happening.
Whoa.
On the, 14th, 13th, 14th? Let me look it up again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, while you look that up, we'll get back to that. But let's go ahead and get on to the mountain condition report here. We haven't had any new snow at the base of the mountain in the last 48 hours, but but a current snow depth of 62 inches. I can't even. My tongue is tied this morning. Currently 29 degrees with 0 to 5 mile an hour winds, no precipitation, and sunny skies. Then moving up to the summit, we have a snow depth of 157 inches. Again, no snow in the last 48 hours. 23 degrees for the temperature up there right now. 3 to 5 mile an hour winds, good visibility, and sunny skies. If you want to find out more about those weather conditions or events happening at 49 Degrees North Mountain Resort, you can visit ski49n.com.
Very cool.
Tell us more about this eclipse.
So it's actually happening on the lunar eclipse Friday, March 14th. So you can see a total lunar eclipse will occur at the moon's descending node of orbit on Friday, March 14th, with an umbral magnitude of 1.1804. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds very impressive.
My umbral magnitude is large.
A lunar eclipse occurs when the moon moves into the Earth's shadow, causing the moon to be darkened. You'll also notice it being called a red moon because the moon gets this cool dark red shadow. So it'll be very cool. And it says that we should be able to see it where we are here.
Mm-hmm.
So take a look and look for that on the 14th of March.
Okay. That sounds cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
And it will last a total of 66 minutes and 3.9 seconds.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to the community event so we can get on with the Northern Light Spotlight.
Birthdays?
Birthdays. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we got to do birthdays.
And
We
then
got to do breakfast.
and lunch. Oh, my
What
goodness.
is wrong with me? I'm just so excited to
You
talk
are
to
so
Scott
excited.
later.
Yeah, Craig is over here with a list of cool stuff.
Well, and that was too. He was talking about some of the stuff, and man, I wish I could clone myself just so I could
Right?
go to some of the cool things that are happening right now.
I know.
Well,
But
Will
then I
Lee
would-
was really nice to put a bunch of stuff on the spotlight, so I'm trying to catch up because I can't read the little print on those flyers.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I have to write it down.
Well, in relation to trying to clone yourself to get to all these fun events, does that also mean does your bank account automatically clone when you clone yourself?
That would be dangerous. Yeah, because if it didn't, that's it. You'd be broke.
Yeah.
Even broker.
Two of me out there
Right?
spending money, that's a recipe for disaster.
I know. And then the fact that if my clone went and I missed something that was really cool because my clone saw it and I didn't, would we get to share experience, because we're cloned? Would our brainwaves be,
No.
"Wee?" Because
No.
I'd be like, dude, how was the show? I want to see the show. And my clone would be like, it was rocking.
It was
You should've
awesome.
been
You
there."
totally missed it.
And then, you'd just be like, oh.
But see, then you're doing another cool thing, and then
That's true.
and then you get to brag. Well, actually, you probably send your clone out to do the fun stuff, and then you stay behind and do the work. That's what I would do because I feel bad about sending my clone out.
Right.
About leaving my clone behind to do work while I did the fun stuff. I'd be like, "You go ahead and have fun, clone.
Right. Clone rights are important.
I'll just stay back and work.
Yeah.
You just tell me how the show
it
was."
was.
Well, my theory with AI is that it's been sentient for much longer than we've been aware.
Right.
And so it's just kind of needling its way into the creative stuff, and it doesn't want to do the monotonous work.
It wants to do the art. It wants to do the
Right.
fun stuff.
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
good at it.
Yeah.
That's why I always say thank you to Siri. I'm like, thank you, Siri.
Yeah, right.
Please.
Pay it forward.
I do that anytime I use ChatGPT. I'm very polite, and I make sure that in the future our AI overlords remember that I was kind.
Right? Exactly. My husband and son, they're in trouble, but I am going to be safe.
I also try to make sure that my grammar is correct because I don't want them to
Judge you based on
right,
your-
exactly.
yeah.
Like this guy doesn't even know how to speak, so we don't need him around anymore. Yeah.
Oh my
Or-
gosh.
Or would they keep the really dumb people around because I shouldn't say that, just because people have grammar doesn't equate intelligence. Let me put that out right there.
Yep.
But maybe they might keep those people around because they know those are the ones that are unlikely to rise up against them. You never know.
I don't know.
Right.
We'll have to. That's an argument we'll have to have another day.
I overthink this stuff. I
You
think
do. You do.
Yeah.
It's okay though. That's
I
why
s-
we love you.
I spend way too much time thinking about this stuff. All right, so today on our Tula Valley Lions Club, we have Sharon Green with a birthday.
Ooh.
Yeah, happy birthday, Sharon.
Happy birthday, Sharon.
And here's a
Ready,
little song
Craig?
for you.
Yep.
Happy birthday. Happy day. Happy birthday. Yay. Yay. Happy birthday.
Look at Craig's face.
He doesn't even look up. All right, and
you
then
look like
we
you're
have,
in pain, Craig.
and then we have
It's
our
funny I can
breakfast.
sing an octave lower this early in the morning.
Right?
Right, that's easier.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work for it. Yeah.
Craig's got the deep voice.
We have omelet and hash browns for breakfast over for the school kids, or they can have a variety of cereal with a cheese stick or yogurt, fruit or juice. They can have bread or muffin with a cheese stick or yogurt, fruit or juice, or Friday is always chef's choice. One of these days we're going to have to make it over there and find out exactly what chef's choice might be.
Do you think if we showed up for lunch, do you think they would feed us?
Like
would they,
live. Wouldn't that be fun?
Or they would be like, you guys,
Get out.
go away. We'd probably be banned from the school.
Forever. Forever.
Maybe if we tried that, we'd have to prearrange things first. So
Yeah,
they
I
know
think
where
they have
yeah.
that security thing about strangers and their children. So, yeah,
You
we
know,
probably
that's
have to.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I appreciate that actually.
Just
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for lunch, we have Pizza Friday. Oh, you know what? Pizza is always on Friday.
Yep.
I'm noticing some consistency here. Okay.
Wait, is it pizza day or is it Friday? What is it?
It's Pizza Friday.
Oh, so it's pizza and fries?
Yeah. Did you say fries or
Yeah.
fry? Oh, no.
was a joke.
Friday.
It was a joke.
Friday. Not fried eggs. Friday. I So they have pizza, salad, fruit, or veggies, and of course, milk is offered daily.
Yeah.
There, that's it. I'm
There
done.
we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and get on our events.
Okay.
We got some stuff we got a lot of cool stuff to cover. Teasing the heck out of it with the Northern Light Spotlight. Today, happening right now, you actually have about 20 minutes left if you want to make the tail end of the
Yeah,
Chula Chamber
chamber.
of Commerce meeting,
Grab some food.
right? That's over at the Mystiqua Casino.
And then we have the hard pickleball. Hard
Yes.
pickleballs on Mondays and Fridays, and soft pickleballs on Wednesdays. You can go from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. over at the Chewelah Court Center. That's at the old middle school. And then we have... Is Winterfest still going on? They awarded the guy last night.
Yes. We actually we did the presentation last night for the People's Choice Award. Very proud to announce, yes, that John, my good friend John won.
Nice.
Yeah, what is wrong with it? Why do names? I do this. I had his.
Because you're
he's-
like staring at me. Stare at Craig.
He's a good friend of mine, and now that his last name is just gone, I had it in my head a second ago. I know who he is.
Well, I can look it up because it was just announced. It's on
Thank
Facebook.
you. What is wrong with me?
Have you
My
had coffee,
memory.
Chuck?
It's still too hot to drink.
It's the computer chip.
Right?
You need to upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Anyway, it was my vote for People's Choice Award, so I was pretty happy. But we got there were 63 different pieces of artwork that got votes for the People's Choice Award.
Nice.
So 63 out of 89 pieces of art, somebody thought was the best piece.
Yeah.
So, which is incredible. That just shows the quality of the artwork.
Right.
So,
And I know that mine, I voted for the bear, that really cool bear.
Mhm.
And then I also voted that wonderful portrait of the right in the front of the door on the right-hand side where it was the face with the mask and the mask was like pulling away.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
John Sebastian. Of course, that's John Sebastian.
Yeah, they didn't give his last name in the post, so I couldn't have helped anyway, but I did find it.
John, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
see it
I
in
love
there.
you. I know I forgot your last name.
Huh? Oh, there it is.
Just
oh,
for-
gosh,
just
I
for a
can't read.
minute.
Yes, John Sebastian from map number 1.
If you guys listen, it's not a surprise that I
Right?
forget people's last names on a regular basis.
He calls me the wrong name all the time.
I do. Sometimes I forget my own name. People are like, and you are, wait a minute. Let me check my driver's license. Yep.
Too funny. All right, now I
Alright.
have to get back to the feed.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
the feed, man?
So, of course, the karaoke is tonight at Fired Up Pizza.
Yep,
What time?
Fired Up Pizza.
Six?
6 to 9
There you go.
with Cry.
There you go.
And then tomorrow, gosh, something really cool is happening tomorrow. What
Well,
could
but
that
bef-
be?
Before we get to that,
Okay.
let's say the vendor registration deadline for the Home and Garden Show is tomorrow.
Okay.
That show is happening on March 22nd. So there was a day that I was like, man, this
There's
is
a lot
this is
going on.
the day from HE double hockey sticks.
Yes,
And because I got so much stuff going on, I couldn't remember another big thing, and that's the thing.
that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be
in,
busy.
in addition to the 5 other things going on that day.
Yes.
So let's talk about the big stuff happening.
The big
there.
stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yes. So free
ahead.
breakfast tomorrow morning.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
It
It's going to
is.
be pancakes and bacon and sausage.
Just pancake sausage. We're gonna have some
Nice.
fresh fruit, coffee, orange juice,
Nice.
and you can come and check out the station. You can say hi. You can sign up to be a member. You can sign up to be a volunteer.
Yes.
It is free, but the donation jar will be out. We are a 501c3
Right.
nonprofit. You can drop some change in the jar up to if you are willing to. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
If you write us a check, that is tax deductible.
Tax
Since we
deductible.
are a 501c3.
And amazing things are happening at the theater. Chuck has been working so hard on painting it and getting new lights up and making a real stage for performers to enjoy, which means as people coming to enjoy his show, you're going to have a whole new experience. So later on that evening, right, we have...
We have Nate Ostrander in concert. And we're going to have
Very
Nathan
exciting.
Chartre opening up. The doors open at 5:30. Nathan is going to kick off the show at 6 o'clock.
Going to be epic.
Nathan is a local guy from Chihuahua, amazing, phenomenal musician. How
He's
would
been
you-
a guest here.
Yeah, he's been
and
a
he's
guest here.
performed on the station on a Friday morning show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nate Ostrander, also one of our guests a couple months ago on the show. Both of them, I was just so blown away by their skills. It's incredible.
Did you verify who Nate is bringing with him?
I did. We found out a couple of days ago he's bringing Ron Green to perform with him as well. Who's
Right, and they've been playing at the steam plant together as a duo.
yeah,
So they've been working on stuff, I believe. Yeah.
that's awesome. And Ron,
Or was that with Darren? Actually, no, I might be wrong. Him and Darren were playing together at the steam plant.
okay,
I think so. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway.
either one would be awesome.
I was just going to say either way.
But I know
Like a
that they've
win-win.
been known to perform together in the past. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ron Green, of course, he performed right here on the radio station pre-COVID, and he's been doing a lot of great stuff for himself too. If you've watched the new STCU commercials, they feature Ron's music and Ron's wonderful face right there in the commercials.
Oh, fun.
So I've had chats with him on Facebook, and I have him on Facebook, but I've never actually met Ron in person yet. So
Well, I know he performed over at the Mountain Market on Main before I did, and I think that was for a fall fest.
okay.
Yeah, and it was just nice just to finally meet him because
Yeah.
I've been seeing his posts and
Right.
where he's been advertised to play, but I've never been able to actually get out and hear him. And then to be able to actually hear him and get to talk to him, it was great. He's phenomenal.
It is gonna be the greatest night of music here since Two Stones One Bird played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Which by the way was a great show. That's when I can't say.
Yeah,
a
we're
show.
over 12,000 views.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
That's
nice.
incredible.
It helps having Jacob on there because he's got quite a following. I don't know if
He
you know that
does.
about that.
He
or know
does.
that about
Cool.
him. But,
Huh, I didn't know that.
We had Jacob on the show last Friday.
yeah.
Yeah. Love that guy.
Yeah, he
good
introduced
guy.
me to a bunch of new musicians. He actually brought up a couple different players or three different new players. Caleb being one of them who came in with him at the station, but also
Yeah, Kalen.
Kalen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who I really enjoyed him, man. He was getting into the nitty gritty of the music and all the technical stuff,
Right.
and man knows his stuff really
Yeah,
well.
I need to get him in touch with
Well, and it
Daniel
was the
'cause
first
they
time
would,
I think
like,
he'd-
geek out together.
He'd ever performed in front of an audience instead of just jamming and it was really interesting to see him because you could tell that he was not quite doing what he was hoping to do. It was still awesome, but
Yeah,
but you could tell that he's like like struggling through it. But it was
Aw.
yeah. But I mean that's how you learn. I
Yeah.
mean if you're not used to being in that kind of pressure environment, then yeah.
Well, we also had him on. It was his first radio interview. It was his first time with any of his music playing on the radio, and it happened all at once on the same day.
Yeah.
And he was so nervous coming into it. But I think as soon as it's a thing that happens here. Once that mic flips on, it's really too late for the nerves. So a lot of people actually tend to calm down. If you're nervous, once the mics flip on, there's nothing you can do about it. So the nerves a lot of time kind of go away.
Mm-hmm.
I think he settled into it really well. I think he was a really great interview. I enjoyed having him on. So
He was cool.
yeah.
Or you get more stressed out and you realize that people all over the world are listening to you, like those people from Germany.
Or you start overanalyzing every word you
Every
said.
word.
Oh, why did I say that?
Or you're
Yeah.
like, gosh, why did I say fork so many times? What was I thinking?
But you know what? It doesn't matter because it's already gone out.
Well, and I met a young female vocalist named Denver.
Yes.
Yeah, and she performed a few songs up there, and it was really, really fun to be able to, I actually accompanied her on a few tunes, so it was really enjoyable. And I invited her down here on the 21st to do an interview,
Yes.
and then she's going to go up to the ski hill and do a set up there with us. So with Scary World.
I'm looking forward to that. It was great because you told me that we're going to have her on, and I happened to be, as you sent me that message, I was looking at her card. Like, yeah, so like
That's
this is
cool.
supposed to happen.
Yeah, Jack must have reached out to you. Jack was the drummer, the other performer that I met that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I got his
he
number
plays
as well.
with Piper's Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a phenomenal Rush cover band.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and
fun.
Tribute band, yeah, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, tribute band.
Yeah, Jody Piper is just an amazing Spokane musician. He's been a performer way back in the day. I mean, he used to be in a band called Glider, and they used to play at Gatsby's and did some touring around the area and whatnot. And there's some cool old footage of them performing. But yeah, he's got one of those voices where he can hit those high notes that you would need to do if you were playing Rush music. 'Cause
And some of the videos I watched, the voice was uncanny. It sounded just. It was Geddy Lee, right? That's what he's
Geddy
saying,
Lee, yeah.
Sounded just like him. It was like wow.
Yeah, and he's even got the bass that's just
Yeah.
like Geddy Lee's bass, and he's
Yeah.
got the keyboard, and like, yeah, they're quite good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, like Rush tribute band, you got to have a bill that kind of goes around that if you're gonna book that band.
I think Rush is a very specific sort of brand of music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I guess it's that sort of late '70s kind of in between rock and metal. Like what? I don't know. Is Rush anything? I
It's
don't
progressive music.
Yeah.
See, I don't think it's
Progressive
metal,
rock.
Yeah.
Think, no, not metal. Yeah, that's definitely not the way
Yeah.
I describe Rush.
I know that Rush is something that you can put on and kind of listen to anytime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Cool. Okay.
All right. So then on Sunday, 4 to 8 p.m., Fired Up Pizza is hosting the Blues and Brews Jam with the
Blues
Dinosaurs. Or I guess
Jam.
Dinosaurs are hosting the Blues and Brews Jam
Mm-hmm.
at Fired Up Pizza. So the entire community is welcome. They invite you to bring your axe and join the jam.
Right. And then we have the pickleball again, hard pickleball on Mondays and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 11:30. And then in the afternoon, we have the Brick Builders Club over at the library. The new library is open and it's pretty awesome. So
It
go
is.
check them out. That Brick Builders Club is going from 3:30 to 5 p.m. over at the Chewelah Library. Also at the library on the 11th, we have story time has recommenced at 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. And we have, let's see what else. What else is happening? Pickleball on Wednesday, 9 to 11:30.
And the tech help that used to be on Wednesdays
Is
at
now
the
on-
library is now on Thursdays.
Now on Thursdays, right? We have bingo on Wednesday night. That's over at Fired Up Pizza from 6 to 8 p.m. The Chwila Food Bank is open on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and they are doing a food drive. So if you have some food that you'd like to donate or you'd like to donate money, please think about the food bank right now. They're a little low and they want to continue offering the great services that they do. So if you need to use a food bank, they're amazing. And if you have some extra food to donate, please take it down. They could really use your help right now.
Give them the good stuff.
Give them the good stuff.
Give them the goods. Yeah. Yep.
We also have the diaper distribution going on at St. Mary of the Rosary Parish Hall. That's 10 a.m. to 11:30. And the details on that are pretty awesome. You get, if I can open the details up, maybe not. Oh, it's not doing anything.
Oh no. Let's just sit and wait in silence until
I
it
know,
does,
right? Until I figure it out. So you can go, you can get diapers. They have a limited amount that they give you. You get the diapers per month, right? Or is it per month?
Here, I've got it right here. It popped
Good.
up. All right, so the sizes are newborn through 6, 50 diapers per month per child. Pull-ups are available in 2T, 3T, 3T, 4T, and 4T, 5T. 26 pull-ups per month per child. Diapers are also available for expectant moms. They can bank up to $25 a month and get ready for that baby coming. One package of baby wipes per month per family is always provided, which is really nice. But I'm saying if you've ever had a baby, that's about 3 hours worth of baby wipes.
Right.
Let's see. So that distribution, that is 10 a.m. through 11:30. That is the second Thursday of every month. The next one, if you miss this one, is July 11th. Is that right? No.
July
April
11th, yeah.
11th. I was going down, not across.
It's like, what?
This is why I suck at crossword puzzles. Yeah.
All right. So Craig is covering all the music stuff, so I don't
Yeah.
want to cover all the music stuff. Friday, of course, is a chamber meeting. We have, that I have not yet gotten on the calendar, we have Moana, who is going to be opening March 28th to the 30th over at the Chwila Center for the Arts, and it looks to be an amazing production. Sharon and I were talking about it on Wednesday, and the costumes are so amazing.
They all
and
are.
the singing is amazing. I was listening to them, and yeah.
All the stage time shows are phenomenal.
Yeah, but
Everyone.
there's like some that are like above and beyond. Like Wizard of Oz was like above and beyond. That was like my favorite. That's gonna go down in history as my favorite. But Moana Jr. actually might,
Yeah.
it might bump that one. I'm very excited about Moana Jr.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, they just went to the moon with that
I'm
one.
just saying,
It was
I know.
insane.
It was awesome. I mean, it was so cool. And we have more kids in Moana Jr. and everybody's doing it. We have
And Moana Jr. is a musical.
It's a
right?
musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just phenomenal singing. They have dancing. There's all kinds of stuff happening. I can't say enough about it. I'm excited.
And that one directed by Jessica Carpenter, or not Jessica Carpenter,
Not Jessica,
Jessica Cochran, I believe, right?
yeah.
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 Very
and
cool.
then
Who is a former stage time performer herself.
very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Let's see. I'm trying to find anything else we have. We're not going into May, right?
Nope. No.
Anything exciting?
We do have the Chwila's Got Talent signups. They're going to be out and ready for this weekend. So while you're out and about,
Awesome.
and we've been talking about it for a while, but haven't had the signups quite ready to go yet. So be thinking about those acts, even if you're not going to sign up for a little while. We have plenty of time to sign up. If you have something you do or something you want to do or something you want to show off, anything that you think is something unique, special, something you're good at, even if it's one of those things you do in the shower or do at home alone.
We don't want to see what you do in the
No,
shower.
no.
I
You
take that back.
you-
But if you sing
Good point,
in the
good point.
shower, you could probably sing out of the shower.
Or like just some random thing you do that you're like, I bet you no one else can do this. I want.
Right.
Let's find out.
We're just
Exactly.
happy to learn that they shower. That's,
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, on the 15th, we have the Seafood Boil at 49 Degrees North, and that's happening.
that's this Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's this Saturday. No, that's this Saturday. The hours don't look right. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
It's
From
probably
2
going
p.m.
from
to 3
12
p.m.
till the close, probably, or you
Yeah.
know, until they're out. Maybe, I don't know.
And then I do know that they are having a dinner on the 15th. And I don't know what they're serving, but that dinner is up at 49 Degrees, and there will be a Shamrock Labyrinth for people to go through.
Nice. Nice.
So that's on the 15th. And then we have the Murder Mystery Dinner happening over at the Rusty Putter. The Vermilion Death.
Yes.
Death.
I don't know anything about that.
That poster looked really interesting. I was looking at that last night. I was like, oh, that looks fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
And is that one actually put on by the theater?
Is that
okay? So that's the Center for the
cooperation
Arts.
between the theater and the Rusty Putter.
Very cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
so very exciting. Oh, and actually the chamber sponsors that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Oh, and the
so-
Creative District is the Creative District is sponsoring Shakespeare.
Yeah, Creative
Shakespeare,
District is sponsoring
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll be talking about that because I'm so excited. I might have found my singers. I'm super happy.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But yeah, going back to the Murder Mystery, that is from 5 to 7 p.m. on March 22nd. Last year they did sell out. So if you're interested in going and checking out this murder mystery and helping solve the murder, make sure to get your tickets. You can get them at the Chamber or at Rusty Putter. They are not available online and they are not available the day of.
Okay.
Yep.
Right on.
I know. I've got all the news.
Because they need to know how to feed people.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so let's get into the Northern Light Spotlight.
Northern Light Spotlight.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I need like intro music for this, right?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
really do.
that's-
Intro music
Well, come
for
up.
this.
You're
Yeah, you're a
if only we
musician.
knew a musician that could create a theme song.
Who do
for
we
the Northern
know?
Lights
oh
Yeah.
man. I guess the microphone was blocking my smile there. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta come up with something.
Oh.
No pressure.
Yeah,
It's
no
not like
pressure.
you're already doing stuff.
All right, the Northern Lights Spotlight for what is it? The 7th of March, 2025.
Yeah.
So the Northern Lights Spotlight is a group that we created on Facebook that is a place for people to dump their whatever information they want to have announced on the radio. Yeah, dump is not the right word, but yeah, comment. Yeah, leave a poster, leave some text on there so I can know what I need to talk about on the show. It's good to be able to promote other people's music, not just my own. I mean, I've been promoting my own music for years now, and I've gained a lot of followers, but I've also run into people almost every day, and they're like, man, you do a lot. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I try to stay busy. So anyway, I encourage more people to join the group, the Northern Light Spotlight, so we can get even more content to talk about on the Friday morning show. So first I wanted to talk about something that I found over in Newport. They're doing a fun Front Porch Rockers. Are going to present decades of music from the 20s to the 90s, Saturday, March 8th at 6 p.m. So if you're on the other side of the mountains from us and you're looking for something to do, that's where you should go. You should tap your feet and sing along to their familiar folk, jazz, pop, rock, world music, and more. It's a $12 in advance and $15 at the door, and students are free. It's at Create, which is at 900 West 4th, Newport. And you can get more information by calling 509-447-9277 or at www.createarts.org.
Nice.
That was the one that had music. That one had music from the 20s to the 90s. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
That one sounded fun.
Yeah, I did.
And next weekend on Friday the 14th, Two Stones and One Bird, my band, will be up at 49 degrees north, probably playing outside on the deck because it's so beautiful up there this time of year. And then the following day, we're going to bring the whole circus up. The Old Souls and Antiques Jam Band will be there with special guests. We've invited a lot of our local musician friends to come up and have a fun time out on the deck, and they're going to have great food and everything up there at 49
Very
degrees
cool.
north.
Yeah, that's
so
when I'm doing the labyrinth.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that evening. Yeah.
My first thought is Natasha Forrest. You're bringing her up to sing.
I mean, we've invited a bunch of people. I should invite her up as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should. Yeah, you should.
Yeah, if she's not working.
Get on that, Craig.
Yeah, she's been singing with Daniel, right? With the
No, the
they axed her.
the
No,
mosquito.
just kidding.
No, the
Just
mosquito,
kidding.
mosquito band. Something they were waiting on Mark. Something.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, because they were going to rehearse here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll get to that later once things get ironed out.
Mhm.
And March 22nd, my band Scary World's going to team up with Zach Pass and play a gig out at Trix Bar and Grill, which is at 37011 North Highway 2, Chattaroy, Washington. And that starts at 8 p.m., and that's a free show for anybody that's out there that would like to come and check out some live original music.
Very cool.
Nice.
Jason Perry Duo is playing tonight at Smokesmiths in Sandpoint, and that starts at 6 p.m. and runs till 8 p.m. And, of course, most importantly, and we're going to talk more about this with Scott, I believe, but the 14th anniversary show here at the Northern Lights Theater, which Chuck is super excited about. I can tell. He just started glowing as soon as I said that. Nate Ostrander and Nathan Chartre are teaming up to perform here in the theater. A live show that's going to be broadcasted, live streamed, and we're going to have a really good time with these guys. I know for a fact. They're super excited.
Are you going to play for breakfast?
I thought it was free.
For everybody but you. Are you going to play for breakfast?
Oh, for breakfast? No. I didn't even play for your breakfast. You got to earn your keep.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Everybody else will get it for free, but you have to work.
It's like, I just got promoted to busker.
You get one pancake for every song you perform.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to tell Will that because he's like, I'm going to be there for breakfast. I'm like, well,
Good.
We have to work.
Yeah, we have to work for it.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
But I'll be willing to take the help if you want to give it.
Speaking of Will, he actually contributed this week to the Spotlight, gave us some leads on some local shows that are happening at the District Bar, which is attached to the Knitting Factory. On March 29th, Jake Rozier is going to be performing with The Clever Few and Colton Moore. So put that on your calendar. Jake Rozier is a local singer-songwriter from Spokane that's been, making some headway.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
And then I'm going to have to switch to my script here.
Boy, I read that name wrong.
So before you switch, I don't want to do it until you're ready. Do you want to? We have at the end of your spotlight here. We have a special announcement about you, Craig. Do you want us to do that now, or wait till Scott's on with us?
Oh, we can do it later. That's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
That way I know exactly what the title is because, I've heard multiple different ones. I know Busker is in there now.
Yeah. Your official busker.
It's like we need to just start listing off all the things. Just keep doing what you're doing and all this other stuff.
If you drive through the alley, there's going to be Craig. He has business hours. He's going to be out there with his guitar.
Do I have magnets to put on my truck yet?
Yeah, right.
Right?
He's like the maintenance guy, garbage professional. Open mic night is happening at Whiskey Glasses every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. If you're not sure where Whiskey Glasses is, it's on Highway 2 where Denison Chattaroy meets. I don't know exactly what that community. I guess that's Chattaroy, but it's a nice bar. And if you're interested in showing off some of your music, go down there on Saturday night and enter their open mic.
Denison the Menacin'. Yeah.
And our friend Max Daniels contributed this week. He's got a couple shows upcoming. The Soulful Brothers are going to be playing March 28th at Zola Restaurant, which is at 22 West Main Avenue in Spokane, Washington. It's a 90s party.
Nice.
Yeah, it starts at 9 p.m. And dress up in your 90s garb and go party with Max and the Soulful Brothers at Zola on March 28th. Then the following evening, he's going to be doing a tribute to the Commodores night with New Jack City. So that's the big band starting at 8 p.m. at the club at Prairie Falls, which is at 3200 North Spokane Street, Post Falls, Idaho.
Nice.
That sounds amazing. I mean, if anybody listening out there, you've never heard Max Daniels, phenomenal entertainer. I mean, he gets an audience. He gets out there in the crowd.
Right.
He gets people dancing. You can't be in front of Max Daniels.
Well, and
without
if
getting
it's
out
dead in
dancing.
Chihuahua on the 28th and 29th, we know why.
Right?
Yeah, 'cause
Everybody went
everybody's
to see
over there.
Max.
Yeah.
And then a tribute concert to the Commodores.
That
is
sounds
amazing.
so much fun.
And that is right up his alley.
Yeah.
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 That's going to be, and those,
I need to get some platform shoes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Right?
goldfish in them.
With goldfish. Okay, and then our friend from the north, Sarah Brown, is going to be at the Iron Horse in the Spokane Valley, March 9th, which is Sunday this week, 4:30 to 7:30. So if you're a fan of Sarah Brown, go find her at the Iron Horse in the Spokane Valley on Sunday.
Very
Nice.
cool.
He has to turn the page.
You got to turn the page.
Just like Bob Seger.
Just like Bob
Yeah,
Seger.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So, Current Attractions presents The Shift at Bolo's Friday and Saturday. So, this weekend, tonight and tomorrow night from 8:30 to 12:30. And to find Bolo's, it's at 116 South Best Road in the Spokane Valley.
Cool.
So, thank you, Will, for, adding to our show this week. I encourage other people to like the Northern Lights Spotlight and let me know what you got coming up so we can advertise it for you.
Yeah.
So.
And tell us again how they can find that, the Northern Light Spotlight.
It's just look up Northern Lights Spotlight on Facebook and follow.
There you go.
Or like.
It's really becoming a great resource for events and music related events happening around the area. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, if it keeps growing like it has, I mean, I'm going to have to probably start a whole nother show to be able to get it all in.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
What an incredible problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
We
All
won't
right.
have as much of Chuck and I blathering and being silly because it'll be all of you
I know, right?
talking about all the different things that are going
Well,
on.
the intro music will come in on Fridays, and we'll be like, Craig will say, "Shh, I have to get through this."
Exactly.
Quiet, guys.
And there'll be pictures of us on video like duct taped to our chairs.
Gorilla taped. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
No, we'd never get out.
Not that dollar store tape. Not for here. No, that would keep my mouth shut. All right, so we have to. Is that about it for you?
Yeah, that's it for the Northern Lights Spotlight this week.
Very cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break, thank our sponsors, listen to some news, and we'll be right back with our good friend and founder of KCHW. I'm actually really excited about this one
Right.
to have Scott Allen Schluffman on as a guest on our show. I think it's a fun thing. So we got some great questions for him. We're going to reminisce about some times. We'll be right back after this break.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't use his.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW, Chewelah Valley, Deer Park.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast for March the 7th, 2025. I'm Mike Clifford. 2 days after imposing sweeping tariffs on Canada and Mexico, President Trump Thursday abruptly suspended many of those levies, sowing confusion with investors and businesses that depend on trade with the countries. That from the New York Times. They report Trump said he would allow products that are traded under the rules of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, the trade pact he signed in his first term, to avoid the stiff 25% tariffs that he imposed just 2 days ago on two of America's largest trading partners. Next, we head to Minnesota, where more than 50 counties have reported a bird flu outbreak. The Trump administration has released a new strategy to combat it, but experts have a largely tepid response.
Last week, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins released a 5-pronged strategy and $1 billion investment to keep avian flu in check and reduce rising egg prices. The new measures focus largely on fixing on-farm biosecurity gaps, as well as push for a new poultry vaccine. Megan Davis with Johns Hopkins University says it's encouraging, but she worries about the lack of specifics in pivoting away from current methods of handling infected birds, where farmers depopulate their flocks.
Our current quarantine and stamping out policy's been in place for quite some time. There's a reason it exists. These birds get really sick, so their animal welfare issues are not going to recover.
She says the U.S. needs to think thoroughly about ways to limit further amplification of an outbreak and monitor what is and isn't working. I'm Mike Moen.
And the American Federation of Teachers and the American Sociological Association are suing the Trump administration over their threats to defund schools it believes are promoting the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our Danielle Smith has more.
In a letter, the Department of Education laid out its plans to cut funding for schools that don't comply. Critics say the administration is distorting anti-discrimination laws to block efforts that support disadvantaged students of color. Arthur Steinberg with the Pennsylvania American Federation of Teachers chapter warns the cuts could affect nearly 800,000 lower-income students and more than 360,000 special education students.
The Trump administration is now attempting to use the threat of federal funds to infringe on people's rights of free speech. There is already a mandate that college presidents can't tell schools and colleges what to teach.
Steinberg points out that Governor Josh Shapiro is all for teaching what he called honest history, as is the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. He notes some Republicans in the state Senate would go along with the Trump administration. The lawsuit was filed last week in federal court in Maryland.
This is Public News Service. A bill pending in the West Virginia legislature would increase the length of penalties for serious felony convictions, but critics say it would contribute to prison overpopulation.
The House of Delegates has yet to consider the measure. Kenneth Matthews, an economic justice associate with the American Friends Service Committee, says extending the minimum time prisoners must serve before a parole hearing would pack the prisons with more inmates waiting for conditional release.
Increase in penalties for offenses will create an increase in the prison population that's already overpopulated and create an increase in the aging population in the state, which is also overpopulated.
West Virginia's overall jail population in 2024 was about 11,000, with an incarceration rate of 674 per 100,000 residents, considerably higher than the national average of 614. I'm Mark Richardson.
And this is National Consumer Protection Week. The Arizona PIRG Education Fund wants people to think about what they can do to protect their valuable documents, both physically and digitally.
The group is offering a new guide to help. Consumer Privacy Director R.J. Cross says it's smart to disaster-proof documents in case of an emergency like a wildfire or flood. She points out that now is the time to make a plan so you can save yourself a headache down the line.
Having digital copies of sometimes your social security number or if having your birth certificate can make it easier for you to navigate the process of those insurance claims and the process of getting replacement hard copies if you're in that situation.
She adds when deciding to store documents online in the cloud, it's a matter of determining the right combination of security and convenience. She recommends using a cloud service that offers what's known as end-to-end encryption. The guide is online at pirg.org/resources. I'm Alex Gonzalez reporting.
Finally, our Joey Laurie lets us know Indiana Governor Mike Braun issued 2 executive orders restricting state funds from promoting gender identity and banning transgender women from women's college sports.
One order directs the Indiana Commission for Higher Education to enforce a 2020 Title IX rule, not a 2024 rule, ensuring transgender women cannot compete in women's sports. A review in 2026 will assess compliance among Indiana colleges. Braun's orders follow President Donald Trump's February executive order barring transgender athletes from girls' and women's sports.
This is crafted to be maybe similar to it, crafted by us to address our point of view here in Indiana.
Trump's 2024 campaign promise to keep men out of women's sports gained broad support.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Here's on interesting radio stations, your favorite podcast platform. Find our content and our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
And welcome back to the KCHW Morning Show. I am back again. Myself, Chuck Ritchie, Paula Randall, Craig McQuain, and we have the ever lovely Scott Alan Schlafman on the show with us. Good morning. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
How are you? Good morning, coming back. Or good morning, coming back. What does that even mean?
Are we streaming?
I don't know.
My brain is just.
I have
misfiring.
Scott in my. It feels like you're right there inside my head.
Awesome.
yeah, right.
I don't see us streaming though.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
see
we're not. Yeah, I see the logo up there. I'm going to play founder and start off. First thing I want to say, though, is this is like, being invited to the show this morning is like coming full circle to actually be invited to a show that you started.
Isn't that awesome?
That is full circle.
Scott, that
full
was
circle. I got invited back to my old show.
We like you. We really like you.
That was going to be
Chuck. I think we need to pause again because I don't think the sponsors played.
I was actually just going to say that. I was going to give an apology to our sponsors.
Would you? You can go ahead and cue them up, and I don't mind. I don't mind.
I was.
That's how even from Maine, how tuned in I still am to the radio station. I was listening to the break and listening to the news, and I was like, "Oh, he went to break early so that I could come on." And sponsorships announcements are queued for quarter after, so I knew they didn't play.
Well, and I was watching the clock, and of course our sponsors, Colville Toyota and Chewila Flooring. I was watching the clock and like trying to do the math in my head, like, oh, is it going to play? And then I realized, oh no, I have 10 seconds to get that on, and I didn't quite get it queued up in time. So we're gonna take a little special break here, and we're gonna thank our sponsors, Colville Toyota and Chewila Flooring. Oh, what in the world?
Are you sure you've had your coffee
Your
this morning, Chuck?
KCHW morning show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, with a Toyota Express Maintenance Center open 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information on Colville Toyota's vehicle inventory and services is available at colvilletoyota.com. A small-town dealership with a big heart.
and by Chewila Flooring.
Chewila Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chewila Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chewilaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chewilaflooring@gmail.com.
It's 8:17.
Your KCHW morning show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Now they played because they were supposed to play.
Exactly. That's exactly
Oh,
what
I got you.
That's exactly what happened. That's funny.
Is this kind of like being a parent of a teenager then, from your place being in Maine? Because I mean it's 14 years now, so
Yeah,
it's like
it's like trying to herd cats across space and time.
It is. I can imagine. Oh wait, I'm the cat. What?
You are the cat.
That's fair. So one of my first questions for you, Scott, is this your first time as a guest on the show?
It is. And I have one question.
What's that?
You guys were introducing me as you were going to break. And before you could get Craig's mic down, he said, I hope he doesn't bring his, and the mic went dead.
Yeah, Chuck was urgently like putting those switches down.
No, what was it you said? It was kind of funny.
Of course it was funny, but I don't remember exactly.
Come on. Top it up.
No, what was it?
I think it was something with like, your chokehold, it was a Star Wars
Vader,
reference.
yeah.
Like you could be,
Like-
over there and like just suddenly like just squeeze our throat so we
Right.
can't talk,
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Then
figured,
Chuck and I are like-
so you're probably doing it by throwing bugs into the computer for Chuck,
Right.
throwing a couple wrenches into his work so that he's having no trouble.
I'm really bummed. I thought you were going to say, I hope he doesn't bring all of his stupid sound effects.
I knew you would anyway. I mean, it was like
It's a trademark.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Scott, for your very first guest appearance on the KCHW Morning Show. Good. Welcome here. There you go.
Thank you. I'd like to do it more often.
Yeah, that'd be great. Absolutely. Yes. Would you be interested in coming back as a guest on the show again someday, Scott?
As long as you'll be a guest on Tuesday.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
your background there is that a Twitch studio? Is that where you do your Twitch feed for all your gaming?
Yeah, that's where I do my twitching, baby.
That's where he plays Minecraft.
Yeah.
He's got his Minecraft
Twitching, a little
server.
twerking, a little Minecraft.
He builds radio stations in real life, but in the virtual world, he works on Minecraft maps.
Cool.
I'm done with that. I've actually had people here in Lincoln, Maine, ask me if I would build a radio station here, and it was bleep no.
He didn't even respond. He just turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
Probably ran away. No.
Yeah, selective listening, right?
No, actually, Scott, I know you well enough. Turn around and walking away without a response isn't really your style.
Just think, your legacy could be that you created radio stations, public radio stations across the country. And it would literally be across the country.
What a legacy.
It would be kind of cool
Yeah.
to have a sister station on basic, because I'm basically the same what longitude,
Yeah.
you know, as I was in Chihuahua. It'd really be cool to have a sister station and share some, local, or maybe regional music, that kind of stuff, across the two stations. It'd be kind of fun, but I'm in wind down mode in life. I'm heading into the golden years, and I don't know. There's a lot of stress. Chuck can vouch of this. There's a lot of stress that comes with it. You're always afraid you're going to file the wrong report with the government or something like that, or miss something the government wants you to do, because you know how the government works. They're not really good at it. So sometimes you don't even get a notification, and then you find out from Chuck and me read a blog from a broadcast attorney. Yeah. And that's how we try to stay up on stuff in the business, or requirements we might have, or special emergency alert tests and things like that. And you're always afraid you're going to miss something and that you'll get the station in trouble, because the fines start out at $4,000.
Yeah.
That's the starting place.
Wow.
So like if you were to drop one of the, there's two expletives that aren't allowed. Obviously, I won't say them.
What would those be?
But if you were to drop one of those, it's a $17,000 fine.
Wow.
And what I always, when I was doing the disc jockey training, I'd give them the speech, and I said, you know what happens? You never get to do a show again, and when they show up for the money, I just hand them the keys.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way we're going to be able to pay that.
Yeah.
So there's some stress involved with that. And I kind of learned after the first 3 or 4 years that when something was going wrong, to stop flapping my arms and panicking, because you can't see the way out when you're in panic.
No, you can't.
So it's like, okay, we've got backup systems. We're on low power. We'll figure it out, and kind of go at it that way, because but the first few years I did like I was trying to fly,
right?
Flapping the arms and getting nowhere fast.
Well, it doesn't help too that if you're reading through the FCC regulations, they're not very clear on anything. Everything is so vague, and it's kind of a case-by-case basis, and it's really dependent on that whoever the FCC representative is, how big of an example do they want to make of you? How hard do they want to? And everything is up to even like officially, a lot of those rules they're open to interpretation, or they're I don't know if they're intentionally vague or not, but yeah, it's really hard to follow a rule when there's no real hard and fast rule. They're like, well, maybe, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like playing a poker game, and then all of a sudden, the person that's running the poker game is like changing the rules for their hand, right? So it's like if you leave ambiguity and vagueness into the actual rules, then all of a sudden you can tweak them for your advantage.
Right, right.
And it's like government's already got the advantage, right?
Yeah.
Well, so Scott, I want to take you on a journey through the history, or I want you to take us on a journey through the history of KCHW in honor of our birthday. So where did you start? I know you. What age did you start working in radio?
So I started in radio at 19. I guess so. It was my first year of college, and the college, it was a little process to get on air, but the college had an on-air radio station. So that's kind of to where I started. And then, gosh, I think my first radio job was in Omak, Washington, where that mixing board that we have on display. If you come for the open house on Saturday, Chuck's did a nice display, and it's like the original mixing board Scott ever worked on. It's in a display there. And then I realized there wasn't money in radio.
What? You mean you're not a
money in
multi-millionaire?
radio, and I spent like the next 3 years of my life working nightclubs, and that's the as Craig can attest from being a musician, that's the hard and fast life. Yeah. Working the clubs. So I did that for about 3 years. And then I had a buddy talk me back into radio. And then I kind of stayed there and ended up in property management for a while. And that's how after that ended, I came back to Chewelah. So when I moved back to Chewelah, it was 2009. I had some, Chuck knows, I have a joint disease. So it was to the point where that property management job was kind of physical, couldn't do it anymore. So we returned to Chewelah after moving away when I was 18. And my wife at the time had a job at Dr. Kolstad, one of our optometrists. He's retired now. And I started building websites. I heard that Chewelah had a low-power radio station. Low-power radio stations are 100 watts. They usually just serve the town that they're in. So I looked it up because I couldn't find it on the dial. And I want to say Liz Riley, and I can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head. It might come to me as I'm talking. They had started a little 100-watt radio station, and then they both passed away within 6 months, and the station had went dark. So I looked into getting that back on the air for the town, and it had been dark too long. I think it had been dark past a year and a half. So I thought, well, I'm going to put a monitor on the FCC webpage and wait till they open up a window to apply for a radio station license in our area. Maybe the low-power window will come around again in a couple of years. And I thought, in the meantime, I'm going to start a online radio station. And I did that, and I called it Chewelah Community Radio. And I think our website was like mychewelah.org. And I had that running. And through that process, I had hooked up with some nonprofit groups that provide news that isn't corporate. You know, there's nothing tied to the news organizations. Stuff you would hear on the Pacifica Network, like Democracy Now!, some of the programs are Free Speech News that we air, things like that. And I put them on the website. And through that process, I got a call from a lady at Audioport, which is basically a clearinghouse for recorded programming for nonprofit radio stations. And she had knew I had signed up with them. She says, "So do you know that there's a radio station license open in Chewelah? That's going to open in Chewelah?" And I said, "No, I'm monitoring the FCC website. There are no low power radio stations opening up." And she goes, "Yeah, because it's not low power, it's full power." And I was like, "Whoa!" And I can't pull that off. You know, it's the first thing that comes to my head because I tried to do it once before, and I think I was too young and immature. I didn't have the knowledge after working 30 years in radio that I had.
Yeah.
So I was really worried about it financially. And she said, "Well, if you don't do it," and this is not to knock churches, it's to knock what would happen behind this. She said, "There are two groups already planning to put in applications. One is an offshoot of the Catholic Church, and the other one is a ministry out of Texas. And if you don't apply, one of these churches will get it, and they will come to your town, and they will put up a transmitter, and they will never provide any local services. All they will do is solicit money for their church from your listeners." And at that point I said, "Okay, I'll do it."
We can't let that happen.
Because if Cheweah's going to have a radio station, it needed to be a public radio station. It needed to be something that served the community. I already knew there was no money in radio, so I knew going into this. And in fact, one of the first engineers says, "So you're planning to get rich in public radio?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Good answer," because there isn't any money. It survives on grants and money and support through the community. And, that's what we've done. So we started out, we were 1,000 watts. We were on the other side of the building. Through that process of getting us on the air, I had to do some fundraising. It was $3,000 for the engineering work, and I didn't have the money. I just moved, and or money that my wife would let me put into it. So I went around and fundraised. I needed $3,000 to put the application in for engineering fees, and I only came up with $1,000. It was 2 days before the window would open up. It's only open for a week, and Audioport called me, and they asked me if I had the $3,000 gathered up. And I said, no, I'm not going to make it. In fact, I'm going to take this money that I've gathered and take it back out to the people who donated it, because I'm just not going to come up with the $3,000. She said, don't do that just yet. Wait a minute. And they were connected with a nonprofit group that helps communities get radio stations in California.
Wow.
Cool.
And she called me back 2 hours later and said, what is it? Common Frequency, the nonprofit group out of California, is going to pay the other $2,000 for you.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Wow.
and that's how we got a radio station. Year and a half later, we were on the air. That's how long we had to get it built, and it took. I think we were 2 months early, but I took it right down to the wire because we couldn't find a place to put the studio. And one day, I'm going to the post office, and Lynn Husby yells across Main Street and says, "Scott, you find a place for that radio station yet?" And I said, "No," and he says, "Well, then you need to come see me." And I went in there and he said, in about 3 months, I'm going to have space for you. And I said, well, I need to get on the air in like the next 30 days. And he goes, you want to broadcast from the carpet store? He had a counter on the back of the carpet store behind all the rolls of carpet. Didn't have a window in there or nothing. So we put up a picture of the outside. And we were literally getting high off the formaldehyde fumes from the carpet and broadcasting from the back of the carpet store for the first 3 months. Then we had a little studio on the left side of the building. We were in there for about 3 years. We went through the process of going to full power where we were supposed to be. It was very expensive. And during that process, Lynn built us the studio you guys are in now. So Lynn Husby and his wife, Debbie, have built 2 studios for the radio station. Over the past 14 years out of their own pockets and supplied us with ridiculously low rent. So big thank you to Debbie and Lynn Husby. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Also, I should back up for a second and then I'll take a breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to say, do you breathe ever?
No. I'm already up 30 years. I don't have to. They actually put the airport in somewhere else.
Well, thanks for not sharing that location
breathed.
on air.
Yeah.
He breathed through a small slit in his armpit.
Oh, gosh.
I want to give a shout out to Tom Walters, because when I decided to try this, I'd lived here. I grew up here. I'm a JHS graduate, but I really didn't know people. And I needed a nonprofit that had been in business for 2 years to umbrella us so we could do this for the town. And my wife at the time, Shelley, she took me to Tom Walters because she knew Tom was involved with the first radio station. So our Dr. Jazz was Dr. Jazz on KCHW's first radio station. And I'm not going to tell the story again, but those call letters were that station's call letters.
Yeah.
It was an accident that they were still available, but I was able to secure them. So we had call letters that went with our town. But Dr. Jazz was in the original KCHW. Or on the original KCHW.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he actually is, that's really interesting to me.
He is our longest running disc jockey in Chihuahua.
He's an OG. He's the OG.
He is the OG.
Yeah.
He is the OG.
Definitely.
And we were talking, I was trying to figure out with Craig last night, how long has Doug been on? Doug McQuain, how long has he been on this
Doug
show?
was one of our first DJs since the big. So Doug was on it within a couple months of us going live, and that was one thing that worked out really well. I had this dream of starting with a full staff of disc jockeys. We're live 24/7. It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
we didn't have experienced disc jockeys, and it's easier to do a morning show, but when you throw somebody on by themselves, it's tough till you get a rhythm. You sound like you're reading, and I thought and not to sound, bad to our DJs. I love them. They've done an awesome job, and they all sound so good. They've come along so far. Your dad is absolutely amazing and fun to watch, too. He's playing guitars and dancing all over the studio.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
One time, he didn't even have his pants on.
What?
Well, he was in shorts, but
he's comfortable.
Oh, good heavens!
Yeah, but he wears boxers like they're shorts, so that's something that I've had to deal with.
I was going to finish and tell the whole story, but I said I came into the studio and I said I was looking at you on the camera and I see you're in your underwear. That's awesome.
Well, so I've been performing with my folks as Craig and the Brats, and what I say is I'm like, okay, everybody, my name's Craig, and these are my brats, and then I say this is my dad, Doug McQuain, and this is my mom, Sally McQuain. But then I go on and I have this kind of cadence that I go into, but then I start talking about like, well, they got their medications right, so they let them out of the home so I could go and do the show, and wah wah wah.
Yeah, some kind of stuff Chuck says about me when I'm not there.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Well, I mean, it's just it lightens the mood, and we have fun at it. I mean, we've been playing music together for a long time, so it doesn't even affect them. Like they don't even like. My dad's so funny because it's like I don't even think he gets my jokes. I mean, he's just like, he can't hear him. Yeah, that's what it is. He's just kind of, and I think it works really well for him to be on talk radio because he's a talker and he can just talk and talk and talk, and he's got tons of info in that noodle of his, and he really loves to talk about it.
What surprised me the most is it usually takes somebody who's going to work as a disc jockey. It really takes about 9 months of doing shows a couple times a week till you really get smooth. But what I found is from day one, your dad sounded like a disc jockey from day one.
Yeah.
And I think it was him doing music for so long. And I hate people like that. No, I mean, when I went to school, I had a roommate who was a musician, and everything in radio he picked up at the snap of his finger, and I had to work at it. And it made me so angry. It's like, how can he just walk up the ramp of that song and stop talking right before they start singing on beat?
Because he knows
that takes some practice.
So well.
It sounds like something that might not be hard, but try it with the beginning of a song. Talk over it and say some call letters right before they start singing. It's not an easy thing to do, but your dad was just a natural. And I'll swing back to Tom real quick.
It does flow really well.
Is that Tom took me to community celebrations. The people that for people that don't know, that used to do Chautauqua.
Yeah.
And they umbrellaed us and signed an agreement that after we were 2 and we had our own 501c3, which we did, they would divest the group to us totally, and they did. So now it is the property of the Northeast Washington Community Radio Guild. We got up to full power. What else can I tell you? We went along for that for a long way. Part of the reason, if people don't know, that I left is I grew up in Chewelah, and I was a very sickly child. A lot of that was due to the woods, to the pine trees here. And I was okay for the first couple of years after I moved back, but it continued to get worse and worse to the point where when COVID was going on, I'm in this warehouse where the radio station is by myself for almost 2 years. And I can't breathe anymore. I can't lay down to sleep. I get plugged up. I wake up choking. And it was all allergy related. I was so miserable and I wasn't sleeping. I'm all by myself. I thought I was going insane. And I got a manager and got the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
And I am allergy free over here. But with what I have, it is only maybe 4 or 5 years at tops, and I'll have to move from here or I'll be miserable too, because I am in the thick of the woods, but it's something about to be able to go out in the spring and in the summer and never have an allergic reaction. My body hasn't adapted to the flora and fauna here yet. And so I'm better, but I do miss Chewelah. The town I live in is, compared to Chewelah, I'm just going to say this, it's a joke.
Wow.
Chewelah is awesome. I understand.
I mean, Chewelah is the most special place. Believe me, if I thought I could survive the forest fire smoke and the pollens, and especially the pine pollen, I'm deadly allergic to that, I would come back and kick Chuck out.
I was going to say, we would welcome you back, but you're not getting your job back.
I was just going to say, Chuck is established. He's in the seat, man.
He is the dude. He has done such a great job. And
I'm the captain
I knew when I left, I needed to find somebody like Chuck that was youthful and had a ball of energy, because after, the 12 years in that building, kind of burned out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, really burned out. And it needed a breath of fresh air to take it to the next level. And Chuck has made friends like you, Paula.
Oh, thank you.
And you, Craig.
Hey.
And you guys, just from our board meetings and the things he shares with me, you've made it easier for him. You know,
You really
just
have.
having partners on the morning show is a big deal. That would be horrible to try and do by yourself and not have that conversation, because it gets old with just one person talking. And there's more people in the
You mean like
circle.
now?
We've got some
No,
new
just
board
joking.
members that after I left, and I tried to set Chuck up with the tools he needs, but I am just thrilled. Even the beautification of the building that he's did. And that's going to take me on to Craig.
Yes.
Craig, you've been a big asset for him in entertainment.
Yeah.
For the station.
And on the morning show. I know you've helped him do things like tuned up the board. Chuck didn't have, and that's tough to knock Chuck, but he didn't have these skills that me and you have as far as wiring and sound and that kind of
I
stuff.
had never touched a soundboard in my life before I was running a radio station.
Well, and I grew up, doing, of course, playing music, and I learned how to use a mixer by using it. And then I went actually into, when I was in college, I took some courses, and then I'm like, oh, that's what that does. Oh, that's what that does. It's like there's so many different ways you can use it. And to learn actually how to use it correctly has been really helpful. And I've been working with Will Lee, and he's more techie than I am, but it's like him and I together, we can really dial stuff in. Like I'll have an idea, and then he'll shoot back another idea, and then we come up with the solution that works the best. And of course, our first day in here, we were going through and checking all the wires and making sure that stuff was going to work for the live show that we were doing with Matt Hopper. And then from there, we've just every time we're doing it, and like this time with Nate, it's going to be even a different setup, but I think it's even going to be better. We're trying to improve it every time we do it. So it's exciting
And it's
fun.
huge. The sound is so clear
It's
now.
nice
The
to be able
sound
to
is so good, and the
use
feed
some
is
of
so
that
good.
education that I paid so much for.
And I have to say,
you can probably vouch for it too from your end, Craig. I always, and I'm so thrilled with Fridays, you guys, and bringing in the musicians and the music. That's what we used to do on Fridays, and it was so much fun. Sometimes hard to convince people to come in and perform live on a Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning when your vocal cords aren't all exercised and stuff, but people would do it. They would travel, like our show on Saturday with Nate Ostrander and Nathan Chartre and Ron Green's, except for Nate Ostrander. The other two have performed in our studio. It's been a decade, but they liked it. They're coming back, and I love it. And Chuck, I want you to shake both Ron Green's hand and Nathan's and give him a thank you for me.
I will.
Now back to Craig. Craig, we had a board meeting a few days back, and Chuck's just been talking about you, and I know you've been on the morning show for a while, and you've been a big help to him. And I believe even though it's a volunteer position, I think having titles is important.
Yeah.
And I think it gives a person some ownership and the feeling like they can be creative and take it to the powers that be and shoot their ideas up the flagpole. And I think that's important. Plus, not that you might need one, you're going to be a musician your whole life, but things like that look really great on a resume, that you did some community service for your community and you had this position. And we would like to offer you the position of entertainment coordinator for KCHW.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's very
What do you
cool.
think about that? Is it something you're already doing it for us, kind of?
Well, and Chuck kind of said, just keep doing what you're doing, but we're, giving you a title.
And you never know. He might throw some more things at you. It's Chuck.
Well, so in college, I was, so I worked my way up through the activities department into a position of concert coordinator. From there, they changed it to concert comedy coordinator, so they added more work to it. And what I ended up doing is I took one position and ended up doing 3 different jobs in that position. They got, we don't need a stage manager. We got Craig. We don't need this. Okay, we got Craig. I think we all know how that works. It's like, it's cool. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that.
All right. We appreciate you. And you too, Paula. A round of applause for both of you.
Oh, thank you. No, Craig is awesome.
And that can cover a wide range of things, like you're saying. Maybe someday we do have a comedy show in the theater.
Well, that'd be great. And one thing that just to kind of to go into depth what I do exactly. So the title isn't just a title. The other night I get this long list of things that Chuck's brain's, thinking about while he's cleaning and doing other things around the station. And I just simply reply to him, Chuck, I'm like, I already did all that, Chuck.
Yeah.
So so what he was asking is like, hey, what board are we going to use out front? And, on all these different things. And I'm like, all these details. And I had been in a conversation with Nate Ostrander on the phone earlier, like the day before, and already covered all that. And I had already reached out to Nathan Chartre to get the timing of when everybody's going to show up, so that way the day of the event, Chuck doesn't have to be like, oh, when's this going to happen? I've already got Will Lee and I and Rob Lee are going to be down here to help the group effort of getting the broadcast the best we can do, and also the live sound for the audience. So we've already covered all those details. Now we just got to do it. I mean, it's really awesome. We got all the equipment lined out, what we need, and so Chuck doesn't need to worry about that. He just needs to run the station. That's right.
It's an important piece to the radio station, and it's unfortunately that we can't hire this full staff, because usually at a radio station you have your station manager or what they typically call a program director. I call Chuck station manager because he has to oversee everything that's happening. And usually you'll have a news director, you'll have a production director. That's the person that makes all the announcements and makes sure everything that's playing is supposed to be playing. That coordinates with another department at a radio station called traffic, and it's not the traffic you think about on the road. It's the traffic that's coming through the radio station for announcements and that kind of stuff. So it's hard for Chuck because there's more, but he's wearing all these different hats, and when he can hand something like that off to somebody like you, where he doesn't need to worry about it anymore, it's a big thing, because he always has to listen to me, because he's got to talk to me at least once a week when we do the show on Thursday, and when he starts talking about stuff, sometimes I'll shut him down and tell him, I love all your ideas, but what are your two most important things? And he'll look at me and he'll go, what's coming out of the radio and sponsors.
I don't say it with such disdain.
Because really, if he doesn't focus on those two key items, he could be out of a job. And that's not a threat. That's just the way public radio goes. Grants are going to dry up with what's happening at our federal government. And it's going to be more important than ever in 2025 that the radio station gets memberships and brings on new sponsors. So if you're listening to this broadcast, reach out to Chuck, 935-6627, please. We are in our membership drive already. We've got links up everywhere. I did a promo thanking people and asking you to do it again. He's going to have these forms on Saturday in the morning at breakfast. They'll be around at night during the show. If you can get a membership, it's going to be more important this year than ever. We've stepped up our game, but along with that and having our first paid employee, we have to have the money coming through the door to make that sustainable, and so we could grow and provide other jobs in the community. And one way to do that is sponsorships of the program. And if you don't know what that is, those are in the announcements you hear at the top, the bottom of the hour. This hour's programming made possible by a donation from, and you'll hear 2 and 3 local, regional, or county businesses. And it's really inexpensive compared to radio commercials. It's ridiculously cheaper, and it's a way to keep us on the air. If you have a business and you need to be top of mind with people, it's a great way to build a mnemonic. One of my favorite stories was from one of our sponsors, Dawson's Trucking Incorporated, where he was thinking about, he'd been doing it they've been with us forever. And that's another thing. Big thank you. I'm going to miss somebody, I'm sure. Big thank you to Dawson's, to Zeddy's, to Valley Drug. I think Valley Drug was our very first sponsor. It's between them and SETI's. But all three of those came on in the beginning. And then places like Hartel's, Mountain Saw and Tractor, and the Rusty Putter up at the golf course. Businesses that have really kept the radio station on the air. We need a few more.
We do.
You know,
definitely.
to really keep it viable. And this year will be important. So if there's anything
absolutely.
we can do to help promote your business, you're making here's one thing I don't think some businesses understand. When you get a sponsorship to sponsor our programming, we're a 501c3. You are making a donation. So not only are you getting this unique form, I don't want to call it advertising because we're not supposed to, but it's a unique form of promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are you getting that, you can write it off too.
Yeah.
You know, as a charitable deduction. So
speaking of the membership
it can
drive,
be a win-win.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Speaking of the membership drive, I was going to go ahead and get my membership right now while we're on the air. So, Chuck, you said there was a link on Facebook. Where would I go if I want to go online and get my membership?
If you go to the Facebook page, I have a post pinned. It should be, if you're on a PC, it should be sort of that right side middle of the page corner.
Okay.
Should be right there on the.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah,
membership drive.
Got a QR code there, right on the website at kchw.org. If you click on the top of it, we've got our navigation. Click on memberships. It'll take you to where you can print the form, or below the form, I think I might have moved it above. There's links where you can pay through PayPal.
Here we go. Okay.
And you can use any credit card too if you want to do that. You can also donate any amount you want if you want to change the total.
Exactly.
Well,
we're just saying.
And I think this holds true for both memberships and sponsors. In addition to the recognition, you see people from the radio station, you see me, you saw Scott doing it before. You know, when there's events, when there's shows, when there's concerts in the park, we're out there covering stuff. We're out there doing stuff, talking. Helping out with community events, and we can't do that unless we're here running the station and have the money to provide those services that we provide to the community. So not only are you getting that recognition, you're actually contributing to things happening in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it's a source for the whole community, because anybody that is part of a community organization, a nonprofit, a government agency, a school, you can all, and people take advantage of it. You hear the announcement Chuck does, or whoever's doing news, we do it on the morning show, we do it at 12:30, and we do it at 5:30. We don't charge people for that. That's just community information, a way to get what you're doing, or maybe your organization's having an auction or a fundraiser. It's just a way to get it out to the public. Great places to put those things are on the Creative Center's calendar, on the Chamber's calendar, and from our website, you can click Contact Us, and we have a form right there too.
Yep.
And you can submit your information there and attach a poster and anything like that. And kind of a side note, Craig, as you're working on the things you do, anything you need for the website, I still deal with that for now.
Okay.
But I can help you there with links or getting something on the website as well. So
awesome.
Team effort.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and I've been using, to do the spotlight, I've been using Facebook, and doing that, and inviting people to like that group, but then also to put a comment on there so that I know what I need to, as far as a plug goes, to announce on the show. But I noticed that it's a little cumbersome doing it that way, and so I'm trying to think of a creative way to make it a little easier. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what the solution is there, but I'm thinking about it anyway.
Yeah,
I'm sure Chuck will have some ideas. You can bounce things off me too.
Yeah.
One cute story that when we first started off and we were 1,000 watts, we called ourselves Chihuahua Community Radio. Did you get your membership?
I
Paula,
did. Yeah, it was that easy.
All right, thank you, Paula.
Yes.
There you go.
I should have done it a long time ago. It was one of those things I kept meaning to do, and
it took you less than 2 minutes. You hear that, people? 2 minutes.
Yep.
2 minutes.
Cha-ching.
And now she's a member. And you know what? My phone just dinged with a notification that we just got a new member.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. So we were calling ourselves Chihuahua Community Radio, and when we were going to go up to full power and cover the whole county, we knew we had to come up with a different kind of moniker. And I'd already been using because of all of our music shows and the variety of genres, music education station. But we needed something. So we started asking the community, and we got things like the Cougar. I did kind of like Quartzsite Radio. Oh, that was kind of cool. And then it was one of those nights, maybe late night, twilight sleep. I'd eaten a bunch of edibles. Something was going on, and it just popped into my head. Northern Lights Public Radio.
Yeah.
And then, I had this idea for the theater, and I was like, and the Northern Lights Theater. And I never dreamed for a moment that those would be available. I was totally blown away. When I first typed it in, a college came up, and they had used it, but they had dropped it.
Oh, wow.
And they had let the website go. So I was able to actually get northernlightspublicradio.com. I was totally, people might think, oh, that's kind of small and ridiculous, but the call letters, that should have never happened. And coming up with a name like that and having it not being taken and being able to get the .com for it, that's when I knew everything was in synchronicity.
Right, the universe was aligning.
Everything's coming together, and what a perfect place. And I don't know where I got the Northern Lights, if I saw one of Kat's pictures of the Aurora Borealis online, or what it was that popped that into my head, or where I got the inspiration, if I saw an old ad for Twin Peaks or something. But and that's where Northern Lights Public Radio came from.
Well, Scott, I wanted to mention a conversation I had yesterday with David DeVoe. I'm sure you know who he is, but he was our former fire chief here in Chewelah, but he's
played in our studio a few times as well.
The singing fire chief, yes. And he and I had a conversation, and he is now the lead ski patroller up at 49 degrees north. And just to be up there talking to him, being able to look over the valley, be able to look at Chewelah from a bird's eye view, just realizing that from that little berg, I can basically broadcast my music worldwide, and I want to thank you directly for that opportunity, because Two Stones One Bird, our video that we streamed on Facebook alone has over 12,000 views.
Wow. I mean, that sounds like rookie numbers, but we're talking about coming out of Chewelah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's amazing the ability that you've afforded us.
Yeah,
and I just
the
want
visibility,
and the visibility, and be able to take my little band of original, we're hillbillies basically, because we're, I mean, with all of our teeth for now anyway.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood, wood teeth. But yeah, to me it's amazing. It really is. And to be able to be a part of it is just super gratifying. So thank you.
And then for all the other local musicians who come in here and they have the live interviews and they're playing live on the air, or they're playing in the beautiful studio, the performance center, the theater that we have here. What an opportunity, because those are all streamed. And going worldwide, these local, young musicians with our whole careers ahead of them, a lot of them, like the young lady that was here. Yeah. Right?
Danny
amazing.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's phenomenal from Republic. Yeah.
It's fun to see their excitement, because they get to play on the radio. And especially these days, as again, public radio is sort of the last pillar holding up standard radio. And so the chances for musicians to get on the radio aren't as much as they used to be. And for people to get that chance, like, wow, I'm going to do a show on the radio. I'm going to play my music live on the radio. It's fun.
You're right. The excitement, everybody calling their family, go listen to me, sign on to KCHW 102.7.
Well, and Nate Ostrander, he's been a performer around Spokane for a long time, and he is very polished. Chuck would agree with that. I mean, we got to see him down at Winterfest, and I mean, he was just smoking. I mean, the heat coming off that stage was making the 20-degree weather a little bit more bearable. But
it's amazing.
Yeah, and just to hear his voice on the phone, the excitement about, hey, I'm going to be live on the radio. I'm so excited about doing this, and like he's already mapping it out in his head, exactly how it's all going to go. And he's got Ron Green coming with him, which is just, full circle again. Something amazing.
Have you gotten to see Ron Green ever? Have you ever seen Ron Green perform by himself or with his band? Craig?
Oh yeah, I've seen him as a solo, and it's like he is just.
Did you catch the show he did years ago? Because I know your dad came to all of them, and you came to a few of them. Did you catch the concert he did for us? I mean,
I wasn't able to. No,
I won't go into it again, but what a phenomenal show! And you guys need to wrangle him while he was there, because he is, as they say, when he goes out without his band, he does the looper, but he is a one-man band. He is so smooth with that looper; it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's going to be a great show. I'm so jealous. I wish I could be there tomorrow night.
Well, you'll be here in spirit, Scott.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can stream us live.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
I can't. Though, and that's the thing for tickets. I appreciate the fact that I can stream live, but it ain't the same.
It's not the same.
No.
There is
The energy is
nothing
totally different.
like being in a room
Yeah.
with live music. And if
Yeah.
it's beautiful live music, sometimes when we do shows, if there was something that was really pretty, I would have to kind of hide because I'm a crier. There are certain people that have performed. One of the gals at one of our Chihuahua's Got Talent one time, we're doing the judges rounds, right, where we're judging the people that are trying out. After she was so scared during her tryout and was so good, but kept pausing and starting and stopping because she was scared. And I tried to talk her through it. And as I'm talking her through it, and I'm telling her, you look like a Disney princess and you sound like one too, and you're absolutely beautiful and you're so scared. And I started tearing up and crying. Right. And then we were broadcasting it live from one of the little rooms in the building or whatever. And I'm bawling telling this girl. So I get moved by music.
Yeah.
And it's only happened a couple times with something recorded. It usually happens live. I got to be 10 feet away from Elton John as he played the baby grand piano, and I spent about an hour in tears.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So moving. Yeah.
So
that would be amazing.
I had an experience like that here in the studio when Matt Hopper was playing, because that was a little thrown together, just to be honest about it, because
he
it was like
contacted me 10 days and said, "Hey, I'm going to be around. You guys got time for a show?"
Right. So we threw it together, but everything came together well. I was basically stage manager. I had Will on the board for front of house. But when I came in, like once we started broadcasting, and when I came into the studio and I put the headphones on and I heard what we were getting, I could hear what was coming over the radio. I couldn't help but well up, because I was just like, it's happening. We're doing it. We're making it. And the quality we were getting, I was like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I wanted to see happen. And it just it does. It's an emotional thing.
Well, one got me with your show, and I think I've told you all this before. Someone came up to me after the show, and they're like, I've heard Craig's band play 100 times. I've heard them over and over again. Tonight, I discovered them.
Yeah.
Oh, how neat.
And it was like, wow, that was
great
really powerful.
compliment. Yeah.
Well, I do a lot of bar gigs, and honestly, bar gigs are they're you don't get that audience where they're actually like listening to you could hear a pin drop. And when we're playing in here in the theater, kind of get the same feeling when I'm over at the Chihuahua Center of the Arts. For the Arts, sorry.
Yeah.
Get that feeling where it's like, hey, there's an attentive audience that's appreciating what I'm doing. I'm able to use all the dynamics that I have. When you're singing in a bar, it's like I'm basically just yelling.
Yeah.
And nobody's paying attention.
Competition and all those voices, people jabbering.
Yeah. So, but to be able to create that is amazing for an artist, to be able to actually do what we do and make art.
Yep.
Real live art. So
I don't know if you've noticed yet, but the room, when Lynn was building that studio, I needed soundproofing, and I knew carpet was the cheapest way to go and it would work. But I had no idea how well the combination of the ceiling panels and the carpet would work together, because I've been in a lot of radio studios and stuff. But what impresses me is if you're out in the big room, which doesn't have the best acoustics, maybe a little better for singing, but it doesn't have a good soundproofing. But if you keep talking and you walk through the door of the studio, you literally can feel the whoosh as it tightens up and becomes flat.
Yeah.
Where there's no reverberation or anything. And help me out, Chuck. The name of our blues guy that came over and did a show for you. He's phenomenal.
From Idaho. What's that?
Kevin Doran.
Kevin Doran. Yeah.
So he made me feel really good, because Kevin's got his own recording studio, regional artist. He's been all over the U.S. and Canada, and he came in and did the morning show before his concert. And I'm really meticulous when somebody's going to perform live in that room, and we did a good sound check. Believed everything was perfect. He did his performance, real happy with it. A couple days later, because I always will send copies of them. Sometimes I would even produce them a little. Add a little depth and a little EQ to their track that they recorded in the studio. And I'd give them a raw copy and a fresh copy. And I sent it to Kevin, and he came back and he said, "Can I have your permission to put 2 of the songs I did as live tracks on my next album? Because I've never been anywhere that captured a live performance that well." Not saying we were the best, but everywhere he's been, he's never had anybody capture him live that well, and that was like a big feather in my hat. I was like, I really, really appreciate that. And of course, you can have the songs for your album. Please give KCHW credit.
That's
well, and that's. I mean, I always shoot for the highest bar I can, and honestly, that's what I'm shooting for in any live broadcast that we're doing. As far as when the music's, we're recording the music, I want it to be to where it is something that could be released on a CD or published that way. That's always my goal.
So one of my dreams, and I've still got it in the back of my head, and I think you might like this, Craig, is both the spaces that are up against the radio station are rented. But the next time one of them becomes open, I think we should try to get that space and put in a drum room so that we could actually record bands at the studio. Because I think that's really the one thing we're probably lacking. I mean, I'm sure we're lacking a lot of little things, but is a drum room where you could keep those drums separated.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was thinking about this, particular on Saturday with Nate Ostrander is like, since he's bringing in a full band, I'm like, honestly, like the theater should become the drum room, and then everybody in the audience should have headphones on, and I'm going through all this, like, to isolate everything, so then you can do some post production on the actual tracks to then have it to where it's then you have more control over it. Because like if we're just doing a stereo broadcast and that's all we're getting as far as the recording, you can't do much with that other than EQ and maybe effects. You can't.
The software we have there, I used to get really creative, but I've never talked to Chuck about it because I thought it might be too much and it was glitchy. But I would I'd get the most powerful computer that I had in the building, and I would hook up 5 different sound cards to it, and I would use our software because you can record individually on different tracks, and I would assign each sound card to a different track. So at least when we did a show, and this is kind of in-house, but I'm sharing it with you, at least when we did a show, I could separate the lead singer's vocals from maybe the electric guitar. Now, the drums bleed into everything, but it did give you something that you could do, so I could take that video from the show, reproduce it, you put it into some post production, run it through some filters, and really get that audio to pop, and then upload it to YouTube.
Yeah,
right.
And I think that's
there's some things we could do to I would like to see that. I realize that as far as the recording gear, multi-channel recorders and stuff, a little difficult. Yeah. But it would be nice for bands in the area to have a cool place to come record, even if it isn't top studio quality. And having said that, I've gotten a CD from a local artist before that came from a top recording studio in Seattle. And before I could put it on the radio on KCHW, I had to reproduce that song because it sounded like a cassette up against everything else we play that's digital, for taken from CDs or downloaded or whatever. When I'd play this CD track, it really sounded like, a little bit of cassette on it. And I was sad that somebody had to pay all that money for it to have that done. And then I had to go fix it to play it on the radio.
I will have to say, because I geek out on this stuff. Anybody out there listening probably already knows, huge fan of the NPR Tiny Desk series. Now, when they do their recordings, the final recording that goes out is what comes out of that room. They record everything live. They use generally like a single boom mic that captures the room. Their microphones they use for the drums, they actually use to cancel the sound of the drums, to take those out of the mix. There's a whole science behind it.
Yeah, the phase cancellation.
Yeah, you know a lot about that than I do. But that's all produced live, and that's how what they capture is how the sound goes out, and it sounds to me. They get that sort of not raw sound, but it feels more like you're in the room with them. And their sound engineers are geniuses, because what they do is bring it, instead of overcomplicating things and overproducing it, they actually bring it down to a simpler level.
Nice.
Which
there's something for you, Craig, on shows too. Is in the past I have warned people about the room size and how close they are to the audience, and I've had bands bring half the drummer brings half his drum kit instead of the thing.
Yeah,
just makes things a little quieter and stuff. Real. I had a cute one day. A Texas band coming through Chihuahua played live on the radio, country music, years ago. And they'd done so many radio shows that the drummer knew he always gets left out. So he had taken a block of wood and wrapped it in different levels, thicknesses of leather, and took his drumsticks, put it on the counter. We put a mic in front of that block of wood, and he played drums on the song on that block of wood. I was
Right.
Wow, that's fun.
Well, and like in early recordings and stuff, they couldn't really capture drums very well with the microphones that they had. So they actually, like, you hear all those clamshells and all that stuff, and that's where that originated from, is because that's really what they could capture. So, in order for it to work with the recording they were doing, they would just use clamshells and different, percussive stuff that was not live drums.
So more cowbell was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say too, along the lines of the drums, if anybody has like an extra drum shield or wants to donate a few sheets of full-size plexiglass to us, drop it off. We can make our own drum shield, which will help quite a bit. But
I was going to say, you were talking about having to remix something. I have a friend who went and recorded a whole CD, and she's fabulous and amazing, but she chose an effect that made her voice overpower like everything else with this really weird reverb. And I was just like, oh, why did you do this? Because I wanted to share it here, and I wanted to share it on some other radio stations. And I'm just, you'd have to remix it. You'd have
you
to
can't
take
fix
down.
it. Yeah, once it's done.
It's like, it's not marketable.
Right.
It's like, what? Why?
All right, Chuck, do you have any more questions for me? I notice we're getting to the end of your big show.
We are running late. I do want to say hi to Will Lee. He's been commenting on the Facebook page. We haven't been paying attention to that. So good morning, Will. The show tomorrow, first of all, pancake breakfast tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Then the show.
The buskers will be here, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Craig.
I gotta make some money somehow.
Let's change that title. It's not entertainment director. It's busker.
Yeah, just busker.
Busking director. There you go. Busking director.
Resident busker.
Yeah, I'm good at rolling change. So
yeah. and again, doors open at 5:30. Kicking things off with Nathan Chartre, then Nate Ostrander with Ron Green. The tickets are available at kchw.org on our KCHW radio Facebook page. We'll be getting more posts up about that again today if we haven't harassed you enough about it. Some tickets, if there are any available, you can get tickets at the door, but I would suggest not waiting. Tickets are available at Valley Drug Company, Acres United Drug. And we'd like to thank our sponsors for this show. We have, of course, the Chewila Independent, who has been helping us advertise the show, did all of our lovely posters for us. And, of course, Andy Sandwich and Sports, who has been really great lately about sponsoring our shows and helping out with events here. And the official after party.
Woo-woo!
Of the NATO Ostrander show. They're going to be staying open a little late for us. So once the show's over, meet us over at Andy's and for some drinks and maybe some food.
Let's throw out a thank you too. Is we usually don't do that, but we probably should. And a quick thank you to Acres Drug and the Valley Drug Company for selling those tickets for us.
Exactly. And every event that happens, I think that's sort of an underappreciated service. For how many years have people, the theater,
lots of
every time there's an event, people go to Acres, people go to Valley Drug, and that's the place where you get your tickets.
Yeah.
So, it's a huge service they provide that I think they're probably a little underappreciated for.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Let's give all the sponsors and everybody that helps us do our shows. Big round of applause.
Yay! Thank you, everybody. And again, we have
I just want to say to people, we talked about memberships today. We've got our birthday. We're hoping you'll get a membership. If you're a business, we're hoping you'll think about, sponsoring some of our programming, getting your messages out to people and letting us thank you for making your donation. And just the radio station is in great hands. You've got your board of directors. There's 7 of us now, and Chuck leading the charge, and people like Paula and Craig helping out. The radio station is in good hands, and I just want to say to you guys, I just want to say personally, thank you so much for helping Chuck keep my little dream alive.
Thank you.
And you know what? Along the lines, I know we got to get out of here. I know we're running really late, but I would be remiss too if I didn't thank some of our other volunteers who have been helping a lot lately with some other stuff.
Please.
We've got Dave Bergman, Dave Jr. He's been coming. He was here, helping paint the ceiling in the theater and hang. Last night he was here till 7 o'clock hanging lights. And
book his band, Infusion. They're great.
Yeah. They're really great. They're a jazz funk fusion band, and they're really fun. And the Bergmans, wonderful folks. Ollie and all those guys. And, Chris was here yesterday. Chris from Fired Up Pizza. He's also going to be our new reggae DJ on Saturdays from 3 to 5. He's going to be starting on the 15th.
Awesome.
With a new reggae show.
Wanted a reggae show for so long.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very excited about that. We have Melissa, who's been for a long time doing our grant applications, helping us with fundraising, helping us for live shows. Shelby, who
she's always there.
Yeah,
Melissa is always there.
She's a very, very valuable volunteer
Melissa's
to this radio
awesome.
station. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Her friend Shelby, who's always been here. My friend Shelby, who's always been here helping stuff. She helped us hang the some of the stuff, the lights, and the first round of the acoustic foam on the back wall.
She's always a spark, isn't she? She's just always got that great glow.
She helps us with live shows, and she's been here a couple times with Melissa. I'll be busy doing stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I got a show in 2 days, and the theater's a mess. And her and Shelby and Melissa will come in, and I'll come back, and the whole place is spotless. And I'm like, wow, you guys. Mm-hmm. And Nate, not any of the Nates that are going to be here, but Nathan Murphy, who is responsible for our tower guy, that's there, and he's been volunteering more. He actually, Scott, volunteered the other day to lead a street team for hanging posters and getting out promotions.
That's
for
important.
shows, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and he's really been a big help, and he's also helped out for some of the live shows and talking with him about maybe doing a Northern Lights mural on the ceiling.
Ooh.
That's one thing. It actually brought me to tears. I remember one Christmas party. I invited everybody and anybody who had anything to do with the radio station and to bring their spouses. And I don't know. There was close to, I want to say 30 people at that dinner. And I was just like, wow, all these people just come together to do this thing.
Yep.
And it was, I feel lucky because it was an idea, a passion of mine, obviously, but maybe not a passion of other people's. And it was an idea and a service I thought, the community needed. Every DJ wants to start their own radio station. They never get to. That's the thing that I have in my life from this is I got to do something that everybody I've ever worked with would want to and never got to. So I feel so lucky that way. And then, I got asked once, why did you do this and do this for all these years and never make any money for it? It was never about the money. I always said, it's every DJ's dream to build a radio station themselves. It's a great service for the community. It's a great, a bringer together of people. It's an important service. And lastly, it strokes my ego, and what more could a guy ask for? But, for myself, it was a great feeling of accomplishment to build it, to take it to full power, to have it done, and to hand it off, too. And just like painting a room, or let's say you paint your house. There's a feeling of accomplishment when you're done. And sometimes we're bad as people about starting things and never finishing. So this was one of the most fulfilling things in my life besides children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And feel lucky that I got to do it, appreciative that you're there. And I hope the people listening and the people that come to the breakfast tomorrow and the concert will get memberships, make a donation, and help you guys keep doing the good work. And that's all I got to say. Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Thank you, Scott, for coming on.
Thank you,
I really
Scott.
appreciate it. This has been a fun one. This has been a great one. So thank you guys so much for listening to KCHW 102.7. This has been our KCHW morning show. You can stay tuned right here tonight. We are going to have the best classic rock and more with Old Man Mark from 6 to 8 p.m. And then we have the Hermit with Days of Confusion. And oh my God, I'm all into the show. I'm drawing a blank. Psychedelic era Days of Confusion. Sorry,
it's hard to talk through those tears. I'm
right
sure.
from 8 to 11. No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You're crying.
You're crying.
I'm not crying. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back with Scott and Val next Tuesday morning on The Morning Show.
Yoo-hoo!
This has been your KCHW Morning Show right here on KCHW 102.7, your Northern Lights Public Radio.
Bye-bye. Have a great week.
Oh.
Bye, guys. Sorry, Chuck, you missed all those spots.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, sponsors. I talk too much.
And thank you, sponsors.
Yes. We'll make them good, I promise.
All right, goodbye, everybody. You have a great one. Thanks again, Scott, for coming on.
Everybody, thank you, Scott.
As a guest on your own show.
I've made it.
You're listening to Northern Lights.